Good evening, everybody. I'm Senior Officer Brooke with the Town of Bedford Police Department. Tonight is your town community meeting. It is April the 26th of 22. All right, as far as the types of calls that we've been tracking this year since January, tried to identify trends with the arrows. So obviously anything that has a down arrow, we're thinking is probably what we want to see. Anything with an arrow that's pointing to the side means no detectable change in the trend. Like to see the arrows stop going up as far as the animal calls and fraud calls. 5 over 4 is really not that big a deviation, but it never hurts to talk about the fraud calls. There's a same thing's been said before. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Law enforcement is not going to call your house and threaten to arrest you unless you send them money. Anybody who demands payment in a negotiable credit card is more likely than not it's a fraud. Legitimate businesses are not going to ask you to go buy a negotiable instrument from CVS or Walmart or Food Line to pay them. They will accept money out of your bank account. All right, specifically alarms are trending down. That is a very good thing. Animal calls are trending up. DUIs are down. And I think we can all celebrate the DUIs being down. Larcenies more or less remaining the same. I think March and January kind of balance each other out. Traffic accidents are remaining the same. I'd like to also ask everybody as they're traveling through the town of Bedford, if you're going to Roanoke, please consider using Independence. That'll take you 45 miles an hour, almost all the way out to 460. And I know that your GPSs are probably routing you down Longwood, but the speed limit on Longwood changes right after you pass the subway. It drops to 25 until you're at the Cornerstone Market. Briefly for 35, and then once it collapses back to one lane, you're back to a 25-mile-an-hour zone. It's a residential area, and a lot of people are out walking, so it's a quality of life issue. I know a lot of important stuff is going on in Roanoke, but if you take Independence, it'll get you on 460 a lot faster, even if your GPS is indicating that it's shorter to go through town. Traffic stops are down. Mental health calls are down. With mental health calls being down, that's a great thing. It's and hopefully some warmer weather and some more recreation outside will continue to improve everybody's mental health. Certainly, feel free to contact the police department if you feel like you're in crisis. We've got a lot of resources. We'd be happy to give you a ride to the hospital where you can speak with mental health professionals. Back to vehicle accidents, I would also ask everybody who's traveling near the intersection of North Bridge Street and West Depot or East Depot, at that intersection of Depot and Bridge Street, please use a little bit of caution there. Those lights sequence very quickly, and all 4 corners of that intersection are obstructed. All right, the call of the month, an embezzlement call. I don't know about the 27th of March. This incident occurred at a local restaurant. It was called in as an embezzlement call, and these are particularly sad because the suspected offender was a family member of the victim. No charges or arrests have been made in this incident, as the owner has declined prosecution. Many times, larcenies or frauds are committed within families, and many times there's a substance abuse as an underlying cause of the crime. I've had fraud calls where related to family members to fraud and other family members, and the suspect had a substance abuse problem. I was reading yesterday from the Journal of American Medicine that 60% of people who are incarcerated have a diagnosed substance abuse problem. All right. So for the rest of the presentation, I'm going to go off the. I'll be off the slideshow, so feel free to rewind this if you're watching at home. That's some upcoming events. It's going to be a cornhole tournament. Please watch the town website, specifically the police department website, for announcements. But right now, the 28th of May, we're planning a cornhole tournament at Edmund Street Park. It'll begin at 8 o'clock. But please check with the town, the PD Facebook to confirm or deny that. And the cornhole tournament is an effort to raise money for National Night Out, which is being planned for August the 2nd at Liberty Lake Park from 6 to 10. The other long pole in the calendar is going to be in July. There is Cop Camp, and I believe that we're getting really close to the end of Cop Camp registration. Cop Camp registration, I believe, is going to close very shortly. I'm not going to give you a date because I don't know what it is, but the dates for Cop Camp are going to run the 5th through the 8th, and we've been having it at the Outpost in the mountains, and it is a great facility, and I believe everybody's thoroughly enjoying their time. The campers and the cops and the counselors. It's a good time. Head by. Well, since there's nobody here who wants to ask any questions, I'm Senior Officer Brooke, Tim Brooke with the Police Department. I thank you for your time. Do want to advise you that these meetings are open to the public. So if anybody ever wants to come to one of these town meetings, feel free. Thank you for your time. Good night.